Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the first chapter number 11, that is the preparation of financial statements. 11.1. So this chapter is basically divided in two parts. One is a cash flow statement, and second one is the preparation of the financial statement. So first, what is financial statement? What are your financial statements? So number one, it is balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement, notes to accounts, and your explanatory notes. Statement of changes in equity. One more statement is there. So balance sheet and profit and loss account, we are going to understand it now. Cash flow statement in next session. And one more important, that are your notes to accounts. There are nothing but your explanation of your accounting standards, where you have to, what you have to disclose it to your shareholders or your financial readers. So friends, so this chapter is basically divided in 5 parts: maintenance of books of accounts, final accounts, then you have dividend, then you have balance sheet, and last one is a statement of profit and loss account. So in exam, important point is that you have to recall balance sheet pro forma. So balance sheet pro forma is equity and liabilities, shareholders fund, share capital, reserves and surplus. Then application money received against pending allotment. Okay. Then you have non-current liabilities, long-term borrowings, deferred tax liability, other long-term liability, long-term provisions. Current liability, short-term borrowings, trade payable, other current liability, short-term provisions. And in case of assets, it is property, plant and equipment, intangible assets, capital WIP, intangible assets under development, non-current investment, deferred tax asset, long-term loans and advances, other non-current assets. And in case of current assets, it is CIT, CSO, current investment, inventory, trade receivable, cash and cash equivalent, short-term loans and advances, and other current assets. Friends, important point is that you have to recall this balance sheet pro forma properly. Okay, so it's my request to all of you to buy hard this balance sheet pro forma and even your profit and loss account statement. So these two statements are very important from exam point of view. And just you have to put down all your trial balance items and adjustment that we're going to see today in your financial statement. Okay. So first one, maintenance of books of accounts is mandatory at its registered office. Remember. So books of accounts, financial statements, and other relevant books, we are going to maintain it in on accrual basis according to double entry system of accounting. So you are aware about double entry system, that journal, ledger, trial balance, P&L, and balance sheet. So first 3 steps we are not going to see over here, because three steps are already we understood at the foundation level. But at inter level, you have accounting standard explanation. You already studied that. But double entry system you have to do by you doing vouching, that are vouchers and verification. So you have this chapter in your audit. So vouching. So from vouchers, you will pass journal entries. From journal entries, you will prepare ledger accounts. And after that, you are going to prepare trial balance. And trial balance will help you to prepare. So these are books of accounts to prepare your profit and loss account and balance sheet, which are your financial statements. Correct? So my dear friends, section 128 talks about, however, a company may keep such books of accounts, of financial statements or other relevant papers electronically. So it is also allowed. So we have tally backups, or we have ERP, then SAP, or different types of softwares are there where you can keep your books of accounts. Okay. In small offices, normally we are using tally. And there are different, now there are many, softwares which will help you, Winman and all, that will help you out for maintaining your books of accounts. So by electronic mode. Okay. So now it doesn't require कि इतने सारे आप लोगों को maintain करने पड़ेंगे financial statement, documents. No need to maintain all this part, because now it is electronically. See now if you visit in mall also, now many times it happens that they will send you a message, or they will send you mail for bill also. Okay. So Now you don't have to save trees and save paper. Okay. So this is now in the electronic format. Okay. So now final accounts. Now, what are final accounts? Final accounts is financial statements which includes number one, which is the balance sheet. I already explained you. So balance sheet pro forma, profit and loss pro forma is also there. We have to learn, understand by heart profit and loss of pro forma also. Cash flow statement, which are divided in three activities. Number one is operating activity, investing activity, and financing activity. So our cash flow statement basically divided in three parts. Then we have statement of changes in equity, that is SOCE, and last one, it's a notes to accounts. So notes to accounts, my dear friends, which is explanatory explanations or disclosures which is required by accounting standards. So these are the financial statements. So five statements, you have to recall these five statements, which is very simple. So five statement: balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity, and notes to accounts. Simple. At least write it in the comment section, simple or difficult. Okay. Understood. Other students, Rashmi ji, Piyush ji. Now, what is Samsung SM A135F? Please write your name in the participants. Yes, Piyush ji. Very good, beta. Okay. Please make it interactive session. So you will find it very simple. So if you have any problem, you can ask me. So what are financial statements? Yes, there are five financial statements. Every one of you. Yes. Whenever I will tell you to unmute yourself, so you can answer by you can answer it. Okay. So unmute yourself and answer. Then points to keep in the mind. Number one, requirements of Schedule 3. See, friends, Schedule 3 requirement is very important. We have to follow Schedule 3. Other statutory requirements, then we have accounting standards and statements and guidance note, which are issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So guidance note also there, where you do not have accounting standard till that time, you have to use guidance note for accounting. Okay. So now what is requirement of Schedule 3? So financial statement should give a true and fair view of the company. Provisions which are applicable for specific act. For example, insurance. We have Insurance Act separately, Banking Act separately. So insurance company, banking company, electricity company, other companies, they have their own pro formas. Okay, so we have to follow that pro forma. For example, for insurance company, there is applicability for life insurance company and general insurance company. The pro forma is different. There are some guidelines for banking companies, how to maintain non-performing assets. They have separate guidelines for that, and accordingly they have their own balance sheet pro forma. For example, in banking company, there is pro forma called as CRDPO, capital, resource and surplus, D for deposits, B for borrowings, then other liabilities. So this is and in asset side, there is can bank is open in the afternoon. So there is some shortcut beta. Now it is removed from your syllabus, but there are certain different types of pro formas. Means there is they have their own pro formas: banking company, insurance company, electricity company. So therefore specific act is applicable for such final account, such company's final account. Okay. But for other companies, we have different schedules. Okay. So different divisions. So division one, to whom it is applicable, you have to recall this: companies that are required to apply accounting standard 133 of Companies Act 2013, which we are going to see in today's session. Division 2, so this is actually wrong. This is in the Roman one, beta. This is not like 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, and Roman 3. Okay. So please have change divisions So it is always 1, 2, 3 in Roman. It is not 1, 2, 3 normal numerical. Okay, companies that are required to apply accounting standard 133 of the Companies Act. Whenever there is a Roman which is given in the schedule, please follow that. Okay, don't follow our own numberings. So companies that are required to apply accounting standard under section 133 of the Companies Act 2013, companies that required to apply Ind AS. Now see beta, Ind AS you are going to understand at CA final level because the pro forma is totally different. In Ind AS, first we have assets and then liabilities and equities. Okay, so that pro forma is totally different. There are some financial instruments. So the pro forma here what we are going to understand for the other than index companies is different. So companies we are going to see division 1 pro forma over here, not division 2 pro forma. And division 3 pro forma is for NBFCs that are required to apply index under section 133 of the Companies Act. So the non-banking financial corporation, we have a separate pro forma. So NBFC, we have a separate pro forma, but for division 1, we have a separate. What we are going to see here in this chapter, division 1 pro forma. Okay, if you open your bare text of Companies Act or bare act, you will get this pro forma in the division 1, and every company follows same pro forma while preparing their financial statements. Remember, so whenever you are preparing your financial statement, you have to follow this pro forma. Okay, understood everyone? So which pro forma you are going to understand it in today's session? Yes, can you tell me, every one of you, which division? No, it's a division 1. So first division, division 1. Only one student answered it. Rashmi ji answered it. Kirtana answered it. Very good. Fast. Type it fast. Now we have to write aging schedule of trade receivables. Now trade receivables, we normally have debtors. Debtors means trade receivables. So whatever amount you are going to receive after selling goods or sometimes, yes, so these are your debtors. Okay, whenever your income is not yet received, your income is receivable from these people, so they are your debtors. So these debtors, if outstanding for less than 6 months, you have to disclose their amount separately. 6 months to 1 year, 1 year to 2 years, 2 years to 3 years, and greater than 3 years. And total amount, you will write it in the total column. So this is called as aging. See, if your debtors are outstanding more than 3 years, then you have to make a provision for bad debts. Okay. Therefore, we write it in the, for less than 6 months, your provision will be less. But for more than 3 years, your provision will be high. And your financial reader must also be know what is the amount outstanding in this period, that is less than 6 months, 6 months to 1 year, 1 year to 2 years. So it will help your reader to take some decisions also. Okay. So if debtors are outstanding more than 3 years and the amount is very huge amount, in that case, your reader can tell you that amount means reader can understand very easily this is like a bad debts, and therefore we have to write these outstanding amounts according to period. Okay, so it is called as aging schedule. Got the concept? So trade receivable in this format we have to write it in our financial statements. Next, then we have question which is based on dividend. Dividend from the current year profit, you can declare any amount of dividend. But see, why company is not declaring dividend? Because normally, normally if there is a trend, they will definitely declare the dividend. But dividend, first thing you have to understand, dividend percentage are always calculated on the face value. For example, I'll give you dividend is 15 percentage. Okay, so 15% on what? Your face value. Now face value might be 1 rupee, might be 10 rupee, might be 100 rupees. Okay, so 1 rupee 15%, 15 paisa. Suppose on 100 rupees it is 15 rupees, on 10 rupees it is 1.5. Okay, so 15% dividend. So on which value? On face value. Got the concept? So whenever you are declaring a dividend, it is always on the face value. So this is first point, which you already studied at the foundation level. Second, or in your BCom exams. Second one, now dividend from the current year profit, you can declare any amount. There is no restriction for dividend out of current year profits. If you are in profit, give dividend, whatever amount you want. But in case of company which is declaring dividend out of past year profit, okay, among its members, so based on the number of shares held, so this dividend basically when you are using past year profits, then you have certain adjustments. So features are very simple. It can be declared out of free reserves. Declaration of dividend implies surplus profit. Dividend includes interim dividend. Interim dividend means in between. Okay, it is not the final dividend. Final dividend is declared after the financial statement, means after in AGM. Okay, so this dividend includes interim also. This is company's decision. So interim dividend also. So dividend can be declared out of trading profits after providing depreciation of the current year. So without depreciation, please do not pay any dividend. Depreciation is important, and depreciation of previous years. If previous years you are not, means unabsorbed depreciation. In income tax you will understand this, and both A and B. And next one, money provided by the central government and state government. So government ने पैसा दिया तो क्यों रोना है? So उसमें money declared by the government. Okay, so you can declare dividend out of that. It's very simple. Now, company may declare dividend out of accumulated profits in the event which is inadequate profit. Suppose in current year there is no profit. Try to understand the provision. If you don't understand in English, I will explain it in Hindi also. So first time I will explain it in the English. So inadequate profits means what? Inadequate profits means in the current year you have not achieved any amount of profit. Okay, your targets you are not achieved, and still you want to declare dividend. So which dividend you are going to use? How you are going to declare the dividend? I'm going to use the profit of past years. Okay, so suppose if your current year savings are not you know are current year savings are not available to have your expenditure of the current year. In simple language, I want to spend some amount, then 1 lakh rupees, and I do not have my earnings 1 lakh rupees. So what I'm going to do, I will use my savings of the past years. Okay, so I savings of past years I'm going to use, but here dividend also when you want to declare, then there are some conditions. Why there are conditions? Because company act wants to safeguard the investors interest. There are some conditions we put it on dividend declaration. So what are these conditions? So for using past year profits, see current year profits you can use as many time, whatever the dividend you want to pay, you can declare out of that profit 100%. So if your company does not want any future to see their future, so they can declare 100% profits as a dividend. Okay, but the problem is that if you want to use past year profits, okay, to declare the dividend, in that case dividend declared rate should be less than, okay, should be less than average dividend declared rate in the past 3 years. So past 3 years, in first year you declared 10% dividend, in second year declared 11% dividend, in third year declared 12% dividend. Okay, now so average is 11%. Now in the fourth year You do not have sufficient profit. So you use past year profit. So you have sufficient past year profit, but your dividend rate should not be 20%. It should be less than 11%. Okay. So 11% is allowed, but less than 11% is allowed, but not more than 11%. Maximum amount that can be drawn from the accumulated profits and reserves. So amount that is drawn from the accumulated profits and reserves must be less than 10% of paid up capital plus free reserves. See, there is a restriction on amount to be used, okay, amount to be drawn. So what is the maximum amount? So restricted amount is there. Whatever the reserves and surplus you have, free reserves, only free reserves. So revaluation reserve you are not going to consider over here. Paid up capital, on that you will declare 10%. And last condition, after withdrawal, the amount in reserves must be greater than 15% of the paid up capital. So this restriction is after withdrawal. After withdrawal, what is the balance that left in the reserves? It must be greater than 15%. So one limitation, one restriction on amount to be drawn, and one restriction amount in resource after withdrawal. One is before withdrawal. Before withdrawal means what is the amount that you can maximum withdraw? 10%. But after withdrawal, your balance in reserves must be 15%. And out of these three conditions, whichever is lower, you are going to write that condition in your that dividend rate or amount you can use out of your past year profit. So out of past year profit, you can use these three conditions must be fulfilled. Okay, all these three conditions, whichever is lower amount, you can use for your from your past year profits. Got the concept? Okay, so these three conditions. Yes. Try to recall these three conditions because you have to write these three conditions in exam. I hope there is one question. We are going to solve that question on dividend. So don't worry, guys. So these three conditions we have to understand. Dividend declared rate must be less than the average declared dividend rate of past 3 years. Maximum amount that can be withdrawn is greater than, is less than the 10% of the paid up capital plus free reserve. So this is a restriction on before withdrawal amount. And third one, after withdrawal, there is balance in the reserves, which is 15%, greater than 15%. Everyone understood? If not understood, if you want an explanation in Hindi, you can ask me. One restriction is on before dividend, one restriction is after withdrawal. What is the balance in your reserves? Yes, you will have a question, Piyush ji, on this. Practical question will be there. I think, have you seen past recorded lectures? Actually, these lectures are not taken by me, some other faculties, but anyone who watch already these lectures, who already studied this? Other students, please write it in the comment section. You have any difficulty? I have seen some past lectures of you and it really helped me a lot. Yes, Piyush, not mine lectures, but whether have you seen these recorded lectures of financial statements? No. Okay. So everything I have to tell you from scratch or what? Okay. No problem there. Okay. So you will have a practical question on this. If now, actually, on financial statements, I will give you some tricky adjustments, okay, at the end of the session. Balance sheet pro forma we are going to see, because I'm now going to concentrate on not on the theory part, because this normally these problems on this topic you have practical questions. So ICAI will check your concept clarity through practical examples. Okay, so we have this schedule 3 in which we have comparatives. Comparatives means current year figures and previous year figures. And we have this pro forma, equity and liabilities. Equity means which is contributed by the owners or shareholders. So shareholders, what they contributed will be recorded in share capital, that is equity share capital and preference share capital. I'm not going to read detail pro forma because we do not have that much time. I'm going to focus on practical part. Okay, so that illustration part. Reserves and surplus. So reserves and surplus, you have free reserves, specific reserves. So reserves are divided in free reserves and specific reserves. Free reserves means what? Which are available to pay dividend. Okay, so you can use to declare dividend out of it. But specific reserves, you cannot use that dividend. It is called as specific reserves. Money received against share warrants. Money received against share warrants. Now, what is share warrant? It is bundle of shares. 1 minute, beta. Just checking YouTube. I request those students who are watching lecture on YouTube, please join us on Zoom. So there are many students who are watching this lecture on YouTube. So I request you all, if possible, you can have interaction with me on Zoom through your POS app. So you can join us with your BOS app. You have that link where you can join. Okay. And please feel free to ask questions. So this is very interactive session, and these sessions we are conducting only to improve your confidence. If you have any query related to any chapter or any financial statements questions, you can ask me through this Zoom session. So I request you all, please. I don't know why students are still attending on Zoom, but TK, sorry, not Zoom, YouTube. You have to join Zoom classes. Okay. So third one is share application money pending allotment. I just check YouTube channel. There are many students who are watching it on YouTube. So I request you all to join on Zoom. Specific resource means capital reserve, but capital reserve you can use, yes, capital reserve also. The valuation reserve is there, or you have any, for example, you have any investment allowance reserve or building reserve for future purpose. Then in that case, it is called as a specific reserve. Capital redemption reserve. Very good, Rashminji. Capital redemption reserve is a specific reserve. Non-current liabilities is there. Long-term borrowings, then deferred tax liability. Now, what is deferred tax liability? You already calculated that deferred tax calculations. So can you tell me which difference must be greater, accounting difference or taxation difference, when you will create the deferred tax liability? Just want to check your knowledge. When accounting income is greater or taxable income is greater? When you will have the deferred tax liability? You already covered, no? S22. Very good, Nidhi. Very good. Other students? If accounting income is greater than taxable income, see, you paid less tax in the current year. So your tax burden in the future years will be more. So deferred tax liability will be there if your accounting income is greater in the current year and your taxable income is less in the current year. So your future tax will be higher. Okay. Other long-term liabilities and long-term provisions. Very good. So what is the difference between liability and provision? In liabilities, we are aware about the exact amount that we want to pay. But in provisions, we are not aware the exact amount. So these amounts are normally not sure amounts. So we have some substantial degree of estimates. Okay. While estimating these amounts, we call it as a provision. And when it is more than 12 months, for example, your gratuity amount. So accounting standard 15, we already covered this. So long-term provisions means we are going to pay it after 12 months, but the exact amount we are not aware. Current liabilities, which are payable within 12 months or within your cycle. Now, how to calculate cycle in financial management? You already studied that raw material storage period, WIP holding period, finished goods storage period. So those students who already studied it in the financial management, I think your financial management is still completed or not completed. I'm not aware about that. But in that you have one working capital cycle. So that cycle might be of 8 months. So 8 months, that cycle period, then in that case, your current liability is less than 8 months. And if your liabilities are more than 8 months, it is called as a non-current liability. So how to calculate cycle, you will understand it in the working capital requirement. Okay. And you have, I think, one more question on there. So whatever the assets figures minus liabilities figures, you will consider in days calculation. So you have to calculate in the days. Okay. So there are some formula to calculate it. Very simple. Trade payable. Then you have other current liabilities, and last one is short-term provisions. So current liability, you will divide it in 4 parts. Short-term borrowings, these are loan which you have taken on the short term. Trade payable means creditors, bills payable will be considered over here. Other current liability means your outstanding expenses like rent payable, electricity bill payable. And short-term provisions means where you will need some substantial like income tax provision. So income tax provision where you will consider under the short-term provisions. When you know the exact amount, it will be a liability. When you are not aware exact amount, then it is a provision. Assets, you have property, plant, and equipment first. So accounting standard 10. Intangible assets, here tangible assets. Intangible assets is your accounting standard 26. Then capital WIP. Intangible assets under development. Again, accounting standard 26. So here under development, we will consider over here. So research and development phase, you are already aware about S26. Non-current investment, that is accounting standard 13. You may have long term or short term. Deferred tax asset, but obviously your accounting income is less than your taxable income. You will create that. Long term loans and advances and other non-current assets. So this is a pro forma for non-current assets. And current assets, how to recall? CIT. CIT means Commissioner of Income Tax. CSO. So these are some initials. CS means Company Secretary. And O. So this is a shortcut to recall this. Commissioner of Income Tax means C for current investment, I for inventories, T for trade receivable. Very good. Then C for cash and cash equivalent, S for short-term loans and advances, and O for other current assets. Once you recall this pro forma, then your life is very simple. You just have to see your trial balance. Adjustments you have to do. Adjustments which are tricky adjustment, you can write it separately and then you can prepare your balance sheet in exam. Second question is that you will prepare profit and loss account also. So institute will check your conceptual clarity based on trial balance items. Okay. So in real life also you have to prepare this financial statement. Normally software will take this care, but you should know how softwares are using data of trial balance to prepare this profit and loss account and balance sheet. Okay. So at least you must be aware about categorization, where to put this, where to put that ledger accounts, okay, in your software. So automatically it will get converted in the profit and loss account and balance sheet. But as a chartered accountant, you must be aware about these things, okay, how it is going to put it in your profit and loss account and balance sheet. So comparatives are there, but obvious. Revenue from operations, after that other income. So revenue from operations means you are now this is not a sales, because now professional person, we do not have any sales, so we have professional income. Okay, so this professional fees I will consider as a revenue from operation, and my other income like rent I am receiving, or interest received, so will be considered as other income. So every company is not, uh, goods. It's not like I'm only dealing in the goods. I may provide some services. So when software companies, what they provide, they are not selling goods. They are providing services to their clients. So there will be considered. So previously we had sales and all this, but now it is very simple. It is revenue from operations, then other income, then total revenue. We will take a total. After that, we have an expense. Now, see, this is cost of material consumed. Now, what is material consumed? Material consumed means opening stock of raw material. There are three types of inventories. One is raw material, second one is WIP, and third one is a finished goods. So, opening stock purchase minus closing stock of raw material is considered as material consumed. Okay. So material consumed, how you are going to put down these figures? Opening stock of raw material plus purchases minus closing stock. Then you will consider purchases of stock in trade. Purchases of stock in trade means why? To those companies who are not manufacturing it. So this is for non-manufacturing companies. So this is for non-manufacturing companies which buying goods from the some person, okay, or manufacturer, and they are selling it to third party, okay, outsiders. So if they are only dealing in buying and selling, in that case, they do not consuming goods. They are purchasing goods, purchase of stock in trade for non-manufacturing company. Then you have changes in inventory of finished goods. Now, finished goods, this inventory is belonging to manufacturers, work in progress, and even stock in trade is for non-manufacturing. See, changes in inventory over here is if closing stock is greater than opening stock. Closing stock is greater than opening stock. You will write this figure as a negative figure. And this is very important. And if your closing stock is less than opening stock, then you will write it in the positive figure. Because see, this is expense side. Expense side, opening stock has a debit balance and closing stock has a credit balance. If credit balance is greater than debit balance, logic is very simple. We will write it in the negative figure because we are writing expenses is of the debit side, but our credit side is more. If credit side more and you want to record it, then you will write it in the negative figure. So this is very important. And if closing stock is less than opening stock, I will write it in the positive figure. So these are very important questions. So see, this format is very important. Now check here. There is no raw material because raw material we already written here in the raw material consumed. Okay, so raw material is not here. Purchase of stock in trade is for non-manufacturing companies, and changes in inventory of finished goods, work in progress, and stock in trade for non-manufacturing. And finished goods and work in progress for manufacturing. Their closing stock is greater than opening stock. We will write it in the negative figure. If closing stock is less than opening stock, we will write it in the positive figure. Employee benefit expenses, whatever salary you are paying, bonus you are paying, provident fund contributing, you will all write it in the employee benefit expenses. Finance cost is interest which we are paying. Normally we write discount allowed also over here. Depreciation and amortization expenses. Depreciation is calculated by using WDV method or set line method. Set line method is electricity companies only using. Otherwise, normally we are using in income tax WDV method, but in companies act both methods are given. So amortization expenses. Amortization means what? Accounting standard 26. We are using the word amortization expenses. And other than that, if you have any expenses, you can categorize it like administration expenses or selling expenses. Otherwise, you can categorize it in the other expenses. So we'll take a total expenses. After total expenses, we will consider profit before exceptional and extraordinary item. I hope you are already aware about exceptional and extraordinary item. Accounting standard 5 deals with exceptional and extraordinary items. And after that, we have exceptional items separately. Then we have extraordinary items separately. Then profit before tax, we will write tax expenses and current tax and deferred tax. So current year provision and also for deferred tax provision, we will write over here and we will get the profit or loss from the continuing operation. Why? Because S24 talks about discontinuing operation. Their profit or losses we have to separately disclose. So this is from continuing operation, and discontinuing operation S24 we will write profit or loss from the discontinuing operation separately. Tax expenses also will write separately their profits, and then we will take a total of continuing plus discontinuing, and this is called as profit or loss for the period. Wait, here still your P&L pro forma is not over. Then you have profit after tax, and then earning per share. Accounting standard 20 will take care about basic EPS and diluted EPS. So I hope your basic EPS and diluted EPS concepts are already covered. So I don't have to explain this once again. Okay. No, beta, salary received. Now you only tell me why company will receive salary, beta, Nidhi. Why company will receive salary? We are preparing, no, beta? Company's financial statement, whether they will receive salary. So we are not preparing it in the form of sole proprietor. Okay, for sole proprietor सैलरी बिजनेस करने वाले लोग है बेटा, नॉर्मली कौन भरेगा ये P&L बैलेंस शीट सैलरी देने? ये थोड़ी सोच बढ़ाई है आपकी. ओके, सो सैलरी पे रिसीव्ड ये क्यों दिखेगा रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम ऑपरेशंस? ओके, सो वी हैव डन विद दिस चैप्टर. All important adjustments now we are going to see. If you have any query in theory, so three important points. One is dividend, second one is balance sheet, and third one is P&L pro forma. You can watch previous lectures to have more clarity. Okay, but these lectures are not. I don't think I have taken this chapter in the last one. Uh, but yes, you will get clarity over this chapter. Now I have taken almost all important points in the session, dividend rules also, balance sheet and profit and loss account. Yes, if you have any query, you can ask me in the chat section. चेंजेस इन इन्वेंट्री निगेटिव इफ योर क्लोजिंग स्टॉक, पीयूष जी मैंने हिंदी में एक बार बता देता हूँ, यदि आपका क्लोजिंग स्टॉक ये ओपनिंग स्टॉक से ज्यादा है. अभी क्लोजिंग स्टॉक को कौन सा बैलेंस होता है? तो क्लोजिंग स्टॉक को क्रेडिट बैलेंस होता है. आप सोल प्रोपराइटर फाइनल अकाउंट्स याद करो, आप ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट के क्रेडिट साइड में लिखते थे, और ओपनिंग स्टॉक कहाँ पे लिखते थे? ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट के डेबिट साइड में. अभी आप कौन से साइड पे ये लिख रहे हो? एक्सपेंस साइड पे. अभी क्लोजिंग स्टॉक ग्रेटर मतलब क्रेडिट साइड ये ज्यादा होगी. अभी क्रेडिट साइड ज्यादा होगी पर लिख रहे हो एक्सपेंस साइड पे, तो आपको निगेटिव करके लिखना पड़ेगा ना. वो आपको निगेटिव करके लिखना पड़ेगा. इट्स वेरी सिंपल, क्योंकि मेरा क्लोजिंग स्टॉक ज्यादा है ओपनिंग स्टॉक से. यदि उल्टा है, यदि मेरा ओपनिंग स्टॉक ज्यादा है तो डेबिट इज मोर. डेबिट इज मोर तो मैं पॉजिटिव ही लिखूंगा, क्योंकि मैं एक्सपेंस साइड पे ही लिख रहा हूं. तो एक्सपेंस साइड पे लिख रहा हूं तो वो मैं डेबिट करके लिखूंगा, तो वो निगेटिव में नहीं लिखूंगा, वो मैं नॉर्मल तरीके से लिखूंगा. गॉट द कॉन्सेप्ट पीयूष जी? Still any other question? Because we have completed with the theory part. Yes. Nidhi, you can take it in other expenses. और कुछ क्वेश्चन है? क्या लिखा है सर? वेदर प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस विल कम इन P&L? यस, अदर एक्सपेंसेस में आएगा, और बैलेंस शीट से रिजर्व से और सरप्लस में से डिडक्ट करना चाहिए. प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस आप लोग डायरेक्टली P&L में लिख सकते हो अंडर अदर एक्सपेंसेस. पूजा जी. निधि, यस बेटा, अदर एक्सपेंसेस में अभी डिटेल में, अभी क्वेश्चन वाइज देखना. कभी कभी हम लोग क्या करते हैं, इन क्वेश्चन ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस के हेड में देते. मतलब बहुत बढ़िया निधि, आपने पूरे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए, ये दिख रहा है मुझे, ऐसा लग रहा है कि आपने ये सॉल्व किए हुए क्वेश्चन है. नेक्स्ट, नेक्स्ट क्वेरी. हाँ जी, हाँ जी. तो आपको क्वेश्चन देख लेना कि बहुत सारे एक्सपेंसेस दिए रहेंगे, तो इट्स बेटर टू कैटेगराइज इट. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एक्सपेंस, ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंस, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एक्सपेंस एंड सेलिंग एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एक्सपेंस। तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 में वो सॉल्व किया हुआ है। यस। और कुछ क्वेश्चंस, शक या सवाल? कुछ क्वेश्चंस नहीं रहेंगे तो हम लोग आगे जाएं। इफ यू ऑल आर रेडी। जो भी क्वेश्चंस होंगे आप पूछ सकते हो। So should I start with illustration part now? अरे yes or no? इजी लगा आपको? इलस्ट्रेशन रेडी है? पीपीटी। So these 6 examples are there. You can go through these examples. Now I'm not going to take each and every because it's not possible. I will take only important questions over here. So this is the first question where you will get this information about dividend. Okay, so dividend question. 3 rules for using past year profits. Due to inadequacy of profits during the year ended 31st March 2002. If you have any, difficulties on these questions, you can ask me at the end, or you can watch my previous recorded lecture. संकेत शाह टाइप करो और वहां पे financial statements डाल दो, तो you will get my sessions. Okay. For financial statements. If you have any query, if you watch that sessions, it will be very useful. Even for branch, Pimpri Chinchwad branch of ICAI, I conduct classes. So that's why I have my channel also. So you can get these lectures of financial statement through my channel also. Okay. I'm not taking any private classes. Okay. For your uh, clarity purpose, because you should know where you will get these lectures. If you want my lectures, so you can get it from my channel. So all, and this just recently I have conducted this lecture on for this chapter 3 months back. So you will get that financial statement session on my channel. Okay. Chalo. So due to inadequacy of profits during the year ended 31st March 2002, XYZ Limited, they propose to declare 10% dividend out of general reserve. So where they declare the dividend 10% out of the general reserve, and you do not have sufficient profits. So from the following particulars, ascertain the amount that can be utilized from the general reserve. So this question is basically a very simple question. First, what is your net profit? 3 lakhs. But wait, this is the net profit. What you will deduct first? So you can write over there. You will first deduct preference dividend, and remaining is equity dividend, which is available. Okay. Now, how much dividend you want to declare? 10% dividend. 10% of 80 lakhs is, now you want 8 lakh profit. Oh, ho, ho. And what is your preference dividend? Yes, calculate your preference dividend, because preference dividend rate is 9%. So what is your preference dividend? This is your preference dividend, and this is you want equity dividend. Okay. So कितना आया देखो? 157,500. Say yes or no. So first I will pay preference dividend. How much preference dividend I will pay? 157,500. So current year profit How much current year profit is available? 142,500. So for 8 lakhs, I used current year का कितना profit रे बेटा? 142,500. So what is my past year profit? So I want to use my past year profit 657,500. So I calculated 9%. I calculated 10%. But first I deduct from 3 lakhs 9%, that is a preference dividend. So my current year profit, I can use only up to the extent of 142,500 to declare 8 lakhs rupees. So to declare 8 lakh rupees, I can use only 142,500. So what is past year profit that I can use? This is 657,500. Say yes or no. Yes. 157,500. Everyone has written. Any difficulty in understanding? 157,500, 142,500 and 657,500. So I want to use past year profit 657,500. Now, what is my past year dividend rate? What is my average rate? 12%. Given in the question, average rate, say yes or no, 12%. And what is my dividend declaration rate? Dividend declaration rate is 10%. So 12% or 12 to 10%. So 12% is greater than 10%. So first condition fulfilled. First condition fulfilled. Yes, because I am declaring dividend only 10% and past profit, past dividend rate is 12%. What is the second condition? You can have dividend, you can use calculate 17 lakhs. So share capital includes preference share capital also, plus 80 lakhs equity share capital, plus free reserves. Now which are free reserves? General reserve, capital reserve, not free, not free. So my free resource is 25 lakhs only. So 1750 plus 8,000 plus 2,500, 1 crore 22 lakh 50,000 into 10%. I can withdraw maximum 12 lakh 25,000. How much amount I'm withdrawing? 6 lakh 57,000. So 657. Therefore, second condition is also fulfilled. Correct? Third condition. After withdrawal. After withdrawal means from 25 lakhs, if I withdraw 657,500, it must be greater than 15% of share capital. Now, share capital means 97 lakh 50,000. Let's check this. 97 lakh 50,000 into 15%. What is the amount? 14 lakh 62,500. And see the amount 25 lakhs minus 657,500, which I'm using it. So yes, after that your balance is 18 lakh 42,500. So third condition is also fulfilled. So all conditions are fulfilled and therefore you can declare dividend 657,500 out by using past year profits. Yes. How to present the answer? Same way in answer, how study material has shown you, you have to present in the same format, but this is how you can write it on question. Okay. In exam, don't write it. It is only for your conceptual clarity. And it is less than, sorry, it is the 12 lakh 25,000. So my amount is greater than 657,500. What is the amount which I want declare is greater than your 10%. So allowed is 12 lakh 25,000. And after reserve, after withdrawal, your balance must be greater than 14 lakh 62,500. Yes, and it is greater. So this is before withdrawal. second condition, and third condition is after withdrawal balance in resource. No, beta, security premium is not a free reserve. Security premium has restricted use. It is very clear, beta, every one of you, Rupashri, Sayantoji, Shambhavi, पूजा, पीयूष, क्लियर है बेटा, एकदम अच्छे से क्लियर है आप लोगों को. एवरी वन ऑफ यू इज वेरी सिंपल दिस क्वेश्चन. एनी डाउट? बिकॉज दिस इज अ फेवरेट क्वेश्चन है बेटा ऑफ पेपर सेट. फुल 5 मार्क्स. कुछ है ही नहीं बेटा, कुछ है ही नहीं इसमें. रिमेनिंग स्टूडेंट्स क्लियर? रश्मि जी को क्लियर है, रूपश्री बोल रहे क्लियर है, क्लियर है. कुछ भी डाउट्स होंगे तो पूछ लो, कोई बात नहीं है बेटा. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, एक ही क्वेश्चन है इसके ऊपर. एंड देन वी हैव illustration 2. I cannot take all illustrations, but I can show you how we are going to update this trial balance. So how to revise this? So you can write over here only land at cost, where to show under the property, plant and equipment. So these are debit balances. Debit means either expenses or asset. Expense means you are going to write it in P&L. Expenses as debit balance or asset as debit balance. And these are either equity or liability or income. Credit means. So you just have to identify whether this is my income or whether this is my expense or whether this is asset, liability or equity. So you have to just put down all these amounts in your profit and loss account. Correct? So let's check it. After this question, we'll take a short break of 5 to 10 minutes and then we'll again start. Land at cost. So कोई अपना माइक अनम्यूट करके कहाँ पे लिखना है वो बोलेगा. Any one of you who wants to unmute the mic and answer it. So if you are giving wrong answer, it's okay, but it will boost your confidence. So please give answers. Any one of you, please raise your hand. Raise your hand. चलो शांभवी जी.
बैलेंस शीट में एसेट साइड से.
हाँ, पर कौन से हेड के अंडर?
फिक्स्ड एसेट से.
फिक्स एसेट करके हेड है ही नहीं बेटा. प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट. हाँ, प्रॉपर्टी, प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट ये हेड है. ओके. प्लांट एंड मशीनरी. आपका प्रोफॉर्मा याद है क्या आपको शांभवी जी? प्रोफॉर्मा याद है आपको?
नहीं सर.
अच्छा ठीक है, फिर मैं निधि को पूछ लेता हूँ. निधि, प्रोफॉर्मा याद करके आइए.
यस सर.
चलिए शुरू कीजिए. प्लांट एंड मशीनरी, भले गलत होगा तो भी चलेगा, हेड्स बराबर आइडेंटिफाई
प्लांट एंड
कीजिए.
इक्विपमेंट.
Property, plant and equipment. Very good. You can write on an answer also like this. अच्छा है, वो क्वेश्चन पे लिख के रखो. PPE, PPE. ओके, सो आप आंसर में जैसे जैसे यहाँ पे हेड आएगा आप लोग साइड में लिखते रहो. ट्रेड रिसीवेबल,
करंट असेट्स में
करंट
सेपरेट है.
एसेट में सेपरेट हेड है. वेरी गुड. करंट एसेट वी हैव अ सेपरेट हेड. ट्रेड रिसीवेबल, वेरी गुड. इन्वेंटरीज,
सेम. करंट असेट में सेपरेट है.
वेरी गुड. बैंक,
कैश एंड कैश इक्विटी.
cash and cash equivalent, very good. Then adjusted purchase. Now this is very something which is very important, huh? This is in profit and loss account. And what is adjusted purchases? It is opening plus purchase minus closing. Okay, but now wait. Now these adjusted purchases we have to bifurcate in two parts. This is IMP. We have to bifurcate in two parts. One is purchases and second one is changes in inventory. Correct? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Nidhi, very good. So purchases and changes in inventory, we have to bifurcate this. So everyone, please write down IMP over there. Adjusted purchases को IMP लिखो. Open your study mat, page number 11.25. Okay, लिखा निधि?
Yes, sir.
चलो आगे बोलिए. Factory expense,
Other expense.
administration expense.
Other expense.
Very good. You can write over there, huh? Other expense, other expense. I'm giving you sufficient time. Nidhi, are you writing?
Yes, sir. I had already written.
How?
So solve किए ना questions तभी लिख लिया.
Lecture कहाँ से देखे?
ICAI वाले.
Okay. Selling expense.
Same से other expense.
Very good. Debentures interest.
Finance cost.
Very good. Interim dividend paid, IMP. हाँ बेटा बोलिए. Interim dividend paid.
So profit and loss में से minus हो.
हाँ, this is now you will write directly in the balance sheet. In reserves and surplus, in note 2, you are going to write reserves and surplus में से deduction. Okay, because this is appropriation item. If there is a net profit, then you are going to pay dividend. Okay, so this dividend from where to record beta? Not in the profit and loss account. When your current year profit, you already calculated by using profit and loss account. After that, in reserves and surplus, when you take it to the balance sheet, you will consider over there. Okay, so this reserves and surplus, you interim dividend paid, you will IMP, it is deducted from reserves and surplus. Easy? Okay. Equity share capital.
Share capital.
Very good, beta. Are you able to see all these items?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 10% debentures.
Long-term borrowings.
Very good. Long-term borrowings.
प्राइवेट क्लास ले जॉब
प्लीज किसके यहाँ पे चल रहा है ये? स्वरूप जी. मनीष जी. Make sure other student won't answer, huh? Or there must not be any disturbance. हाँ, बोलिए निधि. General reserve.
Reserves and surplus.
Very good. Profit and loss.
Reserves and surplus.
Very good. Security premium.
Reserves and surplus.
Very good. Everyone, please write down over there. Reserves and surplus. R&S, R&S, R&S. Sales.
Revenue from operation.
Revenue from operations. Because sales is revenue from operation. Okay. Trade payable.
Separate head.
Separate
Current
head.
liabilities. Current
Very good.
liabilities.
Current liabilities. Provision for depreciation.
Minus
will-
property,
हाँ.
plant and equipment.
Yes. Property, plant and equipment reduce from the asset.
Yes.
Reduce from the asset. And suspense account. Where?
Profit on say sale of machinery may adjustments.
No. Suspense account we won't write. We will solve that suspense.
Yes.
Okay. So suspense account, no need to write anywhere. We are going to solve that suspense. Okay. By looking into adjustment. So let's see how we are going to solve this. So now do one by one adjustment. Okay. First adjustment. Yes, everyone written it on question. Everyone completed till now? Till suspense account? Write it in the comment section. Over? Yes. Piyush ji bol rahe, yes. Rashmi, yes. Sayanto, yes. Very good. Very good, Kirtana. I'm very happy that everyone is writing it now on question. So now you are aware about this, how to write the answer. Authorized share capital of the company. See, presentation is given over here. So after that, after the class, you can just check how we have prepared notes and notes reference we have given. Okay. So I will show you. So first you have to finish with this adjustment part. First you have to update your trial balance. So निधि जी आप ये प्रॉब्लम कैसे सॉल्व करते हो? कैन यू एक्सप्लेन इट? एक बार आपने पूरा वहां पे देख लिया कहाँ पे क्या लिखना है, फिर क्या
Yes.
करते हैं हम लोग, क्या करते हैं उसके बाद?
So इसमें एडजस्टमेंट्स में भी सब लिख लिया कि कहाँ कैसे शो करना है और फिर सब वैल्यूज को उसके अंदर कर दिया पुट.
Okay. So
Manage.
authorized share capital of the company. Why it is given? Authorized capital निधि जी क्यों दिया है?
सर ऑथराइज में से कितना इशू किया है वो लिखा हुआ है, तो ऑथराइज मतलब
So this is, you can write over there only for presentation. Write over there.
Yes.
Only for presentation. So when we prepare share capital note, when we prepare share capital ka note here, so share capital, there are some notes to accounts. These are some notes to accounts where you have to write your schedule numbers. Okay, notes numbers. So previously we called it as schedule, but now we call it as notes. Okay, and in that share capital we have equity share capital authorized, and authorized के नीचे देखो यहाँ पे line लिखा हुआ है. So you have to do double underline. Double underline means only for presentation. You won't take this figure in total. You won't take this figure in total, but your reader must be aware maximum capital that you can issue. Authorized means upper limit. You are already aware about the authorized. We normally write issued and subscribed and paid up capital. So we have a paid up figure, but we write authorized capital only for presentation. So this is the favorite working adjustment. Authorized capital. See, remember, this is only for presentation. So you have to understand different types of adjustments in this question. So authorized capital, whenever you will get this authorized capital, this is what you will understand better, Nidhi, why we are writing this.
So only for presentation.
Yes, very good, very good. The company, on the advice of independent valuer, wish to revalue the land at 3,60,000. See, these figures are in thousand. These figures are in thousand. So we won't take 360. We will take only 3,60,000. We'll take only 360. Okay, so 360. So now do this adjustment. निधि, क्या करोगे बेटा? बोलिए. प्लीज डोंट रेफर आंसर, आई विल टेल यू, डोंट वरी. क्या करना है?
सर वैल्यू इंक्रीज हुई है तो हम रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस में डालेंगे, रिवैल्यूएशन रिजर्व.
हाँ, तो आपको पहले ट्रायल बैलेंस अपडेट करना है.
यस.
360 माइनस 220. सो
वन.
लैंड एट कॉस्ट 140 से ऐड करोगे. एंड on credit side you will write revaluation reserve 140. Revaluation reserve 140. Update your trial balance on question itself. So now you will show your land 220 plus 140, and your credit side you will write revaluation reserve 140. Over.
यस.
Third one, declare final dividend at the rate of 10% on 2nd April 2002.
तो ये आप बताना, ये वाला आप बताना है.
ये नहीं आएगा आपको?
नहीं.
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Declare final dividend. Any one of you, beta, any one of you who wants to explain this adjustment? पुनीत, yes बेटा, बोलिए पुनीत जी.
सर ये लाइक हमारे ईयर एंड के बाद हमें डिविडेंड हम डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं, तो उसका नो मतलब कोई भी एंट्री नहीं करेंगे, रिकॉर्ड नहीं करेंगे,
Very
इग्नोर
good.
करेंगे.
According to accounting standard 4, this is not the event which is occurred after balance sheet date. This is not the event which is occurred after balance sheet date, because according to accounting standard 4, what is event occurred after balance sheet date? If you have any non-adjusting event is a non-disclosure, and adjusting event means if it affects your revenue statement or P&L statement or your balance sheet, and in that case, if you adjust that amount, suppose if event is existing on the 31st March, and it's evidence you received from balance sheet date up to the date of approval, in that case only you are going to adjust that event. Otherwise you won't provide any amount in the books of accounts. You are not going to adjust any figure. Adjusting means you are not going to adjust any figure. And therefore, this event is even not the non-adjusting event. This is not even event which is occurred between balance sheet date up to the date of approval, because you are declaring this dividend in AGM. Or AGM if you are declaring this dividend, so you won't consider it as a balance sheet item. Okay, so balance sheet mein you don't consider it, but still we will write one note. What we are going to write? This note: the final dividend will not be recognized as a liability in the balance sheet, even if declared after reporting date, but before approval of the financial statements. Hence, it is not been recognized in the financial statement. Now, this date is given. No, this date is given that dividend is declared on. Actually, now this adjustment is not correct logically. 2nd April. Final dividend, normally you declared it in the AGM. Okay. But ठीक है, अभी this adjustment will be there. 2nd April 2002, you declare the dividend, final dividend, because you have to take decision in the AGM and your financial statement yet not approved. So this adjustment actually, logically, if you ask me, it is not correct. Okay. But if date is given, then you have to write these notes in the financial statement. Such dividend will be disclosed in the notes to accounts. So do not, when I studied my CA course, then we have to provide this dividend, reserves and surplus में से minus, and show it as a proposed dividend in the short-term provisions when I studied this. But now this is not the event which is occurred after balance sheet date, and therefore it is only recorded in the notes. Okay, so this note will carry 1 mark. So 1 mark milega. So you do not have to update your trial balance, only disclose it as date is given. And if it is in AGM, then it is not the event which is occurred after balance sheet date. फिर भी note भी देने की जरूरत नहीं थी. But date is mentioned, and therefore we have to write it in notes. Now very tricky at हाँ बोलिए.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर. सर मैं ये जानना चाह रही थी कि जैसे डिविडेंड अगर 31 मार्च को डिक्लेयर किया है, 31 मार्च को, तो वो इंटरिम डिविडेंड माना जाएगा या फाइनल डिविडेंड होगा?
देखो पूजा जी, मैं आपको एक बात बोलना चाहता हूँ कि 31 मार्च मतलब बैलेंस शीट के बीच में आया, और नॉर्मली डिविडेंड जो होता है ना, वो कंपनी एजीएम में डिक्लेयर करती है. तो आपको 31 मार्च ऐसा नहीं आएगा एग्जाम में. एक तो आइदर वो 2 तारीख ही आएगा फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट बनाने के पहले, और अभी तक प्रॉफिट ही नहीं पता है, फाइनलाइजेशन चल रहा है, तो कहाँ से डिविडेंड देंगे ना.
31 मार्च को अगर आएगा तो वो इंटरिम माना जाएगा.
तो वो इंटरिम एज्यूम करना है फिर. यस, पर ऐसा क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा. सो जस्ट इमेजिनरी सिचुएशंस मत बनाइए. मतलब ठीक है, तो आया तो 31 मार्च का आया तो फिर इंटरिम बता दीजिए. ओके, पर नहीं आएगा, बिलीव मी. चलिए, नेक्स्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एडजस्टमेंट. ये ऑलरेडी हमारे मैडम ने बता दिया है, निधि ने. सस्पेंस अकाउंट 4000 represents cash received for sale of some of the machinery on 1/4/2001. सस्पेंस अकाउंट क्या रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है? 4000 कैश रिसीव्ड फॉर सेल ऑफ सम मशीनरी. द कॉस्ट ऑफ द मशीनरी इज 10,000. And till today we have provided depreciation, which is called as accumulated depreciation. What is accumulated? Till today we provided every year ka depreciation gets accumulated. So those who have not covered it in the foundation, those who are direct entry students, please try to understand what is accumulated depreciation. Till today, every year depreciation. And if you take the total of all depreciation, it will be 8,000, and therefore it is called as accumulated. What is the different name? Provision. What is the different name for this? Provision. So my dear students, 10,000 minus 8,000. So what is the WDV? Yes, Nidhi, what is the written down value of this?
So 2000.
Very good, beta. 2,000. And you sold it for 4,000.
Yes, sir.
So now tell me, what is your profit?
2000.
Yes, because 4,000 out of this, your WDV is only 2,000. So 2,000 ka you sold it for 4,000. So your profit will be 2,000. Now how to do this adjustment? What you sold? Machinery. So from machinery, I will reduce 10 because 10,000 is cost. Correct? Eh? So now this 10,000 is not no more with me. So I have to reduce 10 minus 10. Yes. Now Nidhi, next क्या करूंगा मैं?
So depreciation less.
कितना depreciation less होगा?
760 का 10%.
No. Do this adjustment only one by one. We are here only on 4th adjustment. So don't think of 5th adjustment. So first finish with this adjustment only. So 770, I deduct cost 10.
So by 172 provision for depreciation.
How much should I deduct?
172 minus 8.
8. Because from accumulated depreciation, I will reduce 8.
Yes.
And 4, there is no more 4 now because suspense is solved.
Yes.
Okay. And I got the profit from sale. How much?
2000.
2. See, I reduce my, I reduce minus 10 from here. Means on debit side minus 10. and on credit side -8 -4 +2, -8 -4 -12 +2 -10. So on debit side also -10, on credit side also -10. So मेरा tally हुआ क्या?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir. So now I have done with this adjustment also. So this is called as updation of your trial balance. Whenever you are solving this question, first update your trial balance by looking into question adjustments. So I have done with the fourth adjustment also. Now I am on fifth adjustment, depreciation. Now I left with 770 minus 10. So I left with 760.
Yes.
So depreciation, what is the depreciation on this? 76.
Yes.
And where will be second effect?
So the depreciation and amortization expense.
So this is the debit. No,
Yes.
this is debit. Huh. And what about credit? I will add it in provision for depreciation.
Yes.
Why? Because my entry will be depreciation account debit, not to asset, because I maintain provision account, no, or accumulated account. So depreciation account debit to provision for depreciation. Got the concept? So depreciation will debited to profit and loss account, and accumulated depreciation gets increased by 76. If provision for depreciation account is not open, normally in sole proprietor final accounts, but in company it is not allowed, because company we open provision for depreciation because more transparency is there. But when you have done your sole proprietor final accounts, depreciation one effect on the P&L debit side and another effect asset में से minus करते थे. But here we open provision for depreciation account. And what is provision for depreciation account? It is a temporary account. It is a temporary account. Every year balance is getting increased. Okay. Instead of depreciation, instead of giving credit to asset, we open provision for depreciation. And why it is open? To show the asset at original cost. So anyone asks you why provision for depreciation account is open, so you have to answer to show the asset at original cost. Otherwise our asset balance gets reduced. Sole proprietor में क्या करते थे हम लोग 11-12 standard में asset को reduce करते थे. But when you open provision for depreciation account, it is to show the asset at original cost. Got the concept? Every one
Yes.
of you? Yes. अभी क्या करना है? अभी कुछ नहीं करना है. अभी शांति से ये क्वेश्चन को, ये फिगर्स को आपके बैलेंस शीट में ये नीचे पूरा प्रोफॉर्मा लिखने का, एंड बैलेंस शीट में जस्ट पुट डाउन दिस फिगर्स एंड यू विल गेट द आंसर. ओके, got the concept? So in exam, what you will do, you will write this proforma like this and write only relevant item. Don't write full balance sheet proforma. Share capital you will write, reserve surplus you will write, non-current liability we have only long-term borrowings. So long-term borrowings, current liability. So you'll write only pro forma. Please have 1 to 2 lines. Please keep extra lines. Suppose if any item which is remaining, you can write over there. First, finish with the pro forma. So in exam, how to solve this question? First, you will don't write amounts first. First, you will write only pro forma like this. Then you will prepare notes. Notes. This is P&L. Okay, then you will prepare notes 1, 2, 3, 4. You can give extra notes also. It doesn't, suppose if you open inventory account also in the notes, it doesn't matter. Okay, but try to understand these notes. You will write there. There are total 7 notes in our pro forma. And after writing these notes, you will write now. First, prepare your pro forma of balance sheet, profit and loss account and notes to accounts, and then try to put down all figures from the trial balance. Okay, so पहले क्या करना है? पहले पूरा pro forma रेडी कर लेना है, और pro forma रेडी होने के बाद put down figures, क्वेश्चन आंसर, क्वेश्चन देखने का, फटाफट लिखने का, पहले पूरा pro forma रेडी कर लेने का, मैगी के प्रिपरेशन, फिर मसाला डालना है, बस पहले पूरा लगा देने का, फिर मैगी बनाने को लेना है. वैसे पूरा pro forma रेडी कर लोगे. After writing all these pro formas in the exam, whatever I have done it in the yellow color. So first write down that pro forma, and after that check your question and just note down your figures. और कौन से figures? Updated figures. Which figures you will consider? That are updated figures, which you have taken on the final figure. Don't write 220. 220 plus 140. Okay, in land at cost. Easy. So निधि, आप नया क्या सीखे मेरे से इसमें?
सो डिविडेंड वाला
हाँ जी, और दूसरा ट्रायल बैलेंस को अपडेट करना।
यस
क्या करना है आपको? ट्रायल बैलेंस को अपडेट करना है। चलो, सो नाउ वी विल मीट एट 8:35। एक छोटा सा ब्रेक लेते हैं और ब्रेक के उस पर वापस हम लोग शुरू करेंगे।
सर एग्जाम में स्टेप वाइज मार्किंग होती है।
Yes, you will get step marks. So suppose if you haven't tallied this amount also, doesn't matter, don't worry. आपके अमाउंट्स नहीं आए पर आपको सिर्फ प्रोफॉर्मा भी लिखा तो भी आपको 4-5 मार्क तो मिल जाएंगे। सो डोंट वरी। तो टैली होने का प्रेशर मत लीजिए। हाँ जी, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन टिल नाउ?
सर ये सस्पेंस अकाउंट वाला मेरे को नहीं समझा कैसे माइनस।
ठीक है, देखो आपकी एसेट की कॉस्ट कितनी थी मैडम? कॉस्ट बताइए जो बेचा उसकी। 10,000। और आज तक आपने कितना डिप्रिसिएशन प्रोवाइड किया?
8,000
8,000। और आपको कितना पैसा मिला?
4,000
4,000। मतलब आपकी एसेट की वैल्यू कितनी थी?
2,000
एसेट की वैल्यू नेट 2,000 थी और बेचा
Yes.
कितने में?
4,000
4,000। तो आपने क्या किया? आपने एंट्री क्या करना चाहिए था? एक्यूमुलेटेड डिप्रिसिएशन अकाउंट डेबिट 8,000, प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट 10,000, कैश आपको मिला 4,000, तो
Okay.
प्रॉफिट आपने रिकॉर्ड करना चाहिए था 2। ये एंट्री में कोई दिक्कत है?
नहीं सर।
नहीं। पर आपने क्या कर दिया? कैश अकाउंट डेबिट टू सस्पेंस 4,4। अभी इसमें से रेक्टिफिकेशन एंट्री में क्या क्या करेक्ट है आपका? कैश कैश करेक्ट है?
यस
हाँ, तो क्या करेक्ट नहीं है? अपने एक्यूमुलेटेड डिप्रिसिएशन को डेबिट देना चाहिए था 8 से, प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट को क्रेडिट करना चाहिए था 10 से, एंड प्रॉफिट को अपने क्रेडिट करना चाहिए था 2 से। पर आपने कर दिया सस्पेंस को क्रेडिट, तो उसको रिवर्स करेंगे। तो सस्पेंस अकाउंट डेबिट आपका हो जाएगा 4। अभी सस्पेंस को डेबिट है, ट्रायल बैलेंस में सस्पेंस को क्या है? क्रेडिट। तो आप ट्रायल बैलेंस में से 4 को माइनस करोगे। से यस और नो? एक्यूमुलेटेड डिप्रिसिएशन ट्रायल बैलेंस में कौन से साइड पे दिख रहा है, डेबिट या क्रेडिट? प्रोविजन फॉर डिप्रिसिएशन।
डेबिट।
प्रोविजन फॉर
नहीं नहीं
डिप्रिसिएशन।
क्रेडिट क्रेडिट सर।
आराम से बेटा, एकदम कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर रखो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। सो क्रेडिट है और हमें देना है डेबिट। अब क्रेडिट को डेबिट देना है तो प्लस करेंगे क्या माइनस करेंगे?
माइनस।
माइनस। प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट मतलब वो जो प्लांट एंड मशीनरी है वो कौन सा बैलेंस बता रहा है, डेबिट या क्रेडिट? डेबिट। और रेक्टिफिकेशन में क्रेडिट है तो प्लस करेंगे क्या माइनस करेंगे? माइनस करेंगे ना, पीपी को क्रेडिट करना है तो। एंड प्रॉफिट फ्रॉम ऑपरेशन एक नया ट्रायल बैलेंस में आइटम लिख देंगे 2 रुपीज। अभी क्लियर हुआ?
यस सर।
सिंपल ही होता है रश्मि जी, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती है, सिर्फ आपको अपडेट करना होता है ट्रायल बैलेंस को। पर आप लोग क्या करते हो, यो बेसिक्स जो फाउंडेशन के ना वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और नहीं भी रहेंगे तो थोड़ा बहुत डेबिट क्रेडिट के ऊपर एक्सरसाइज कीजिए प्रॉपर। मतलब एंट्रीज, छोटे छोटे एंट्रीज से आगे के एंट्रीज पे जाइए। एक 20-25 जो जर्नल एंट्रीज है ना, आगे का जर्नी जो है, क्योंकि ब्रांच अकाउंट भी आएगा तो आपका डेबिट क्रेडिट अभी स्ट्रॉन्ग चाहिए। इंटरमीडिएट लेवल में इट इज एज्यूम कि आपका फाउंडेशन में थोड़ा सा बेसिक स्ट्रॉन्ग रहेगा। आया समझ में? आप
यस सर
फाउंडेशन
क्लियर।
आप फाउंडेशन से हो या डायरेक्ट एंट्री से हो?
सर फाउंडेशन से ही।
तो फाउंडेशन से हो। आपने मेरे लेक्चर किए थे क्या नहीं किए थे?
सर की थी।
तो फिर तो आपके बेसिक स्ट्रॉन्ग ही चाहिए, है कि नहीं?
यस सर।
चलो बहुत बढ़िया। यस सर, प्रोविजन ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन नॉट गिवन, तो व्हाट टू डू? वी हैव टू बाइफरकेट। सो इन क्वेश्चन नॉर्मली इट इज गिवन, इफ इट इज नॉट गिवन देन वी विल डिडक्ट डायरेक्टली asset. We will deduct it directly from asset. Yes. Any other query? Any other query that you have? Should I take a break? अरे हाँ या ना, क्या छोड़ने की इच्छा नहीं हो रही है? 10 मिनट का थोड़ा सा चाय पी के आता हूँ, आवाज गया है मेरा, इसलिए ले लूं ब्रेक।
यस सर।
यस, चलो एक, वी विल मीट एट 8:40 एग्जैक्टली। तब तक आप क्या करो, तब तक आप लोग नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन को ट्राई करो। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन को ऐसे ही लिख के रखना। चलो डू दैट। मनीष जी ब्रेक ले लीजिए। actually. Yes. Who is going to answer next question? Any one of you? Please raise your hand. Piyush. Yes, Piyush beta. माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए पीयूष जी.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hmm.
Uh, so can we start now?
हाँ बोलिए.
Sir, the inventory one is the opening inventory, so we will consider it in the P&L account, but we will not consider it in balance sheet. So
No. It
we
will
will
be
keep it
considered
later.
IMP. IMP. If you are getting
It
the
is
wrong
IMP.
answer, you will consider it as IMP point. Okay.
Hmm.
So inventory, you will write it in the changes in inventory. Okay.
Oh, exactly.
So which inventory is this beta? Opening or closing?
So it is opening
Opening. Why? Because closing inventory is given in the adjustment.
adjustment.
So this is, you can write over there. This is opening inventory.
Yes.
Furniture.
It will be in PP,
PP.
property plant
Very
equipment.
good. Okay. Property, plant and equipment. Write down over
Yes.
there.
Hmm.
Discount.
Other expense.
Discount, you will write it in other expense. Very good. Loan to director.
Short-term loans and advances in the
Yes. If you are not getting it, please write it IMP over there. So loan to directors, you can write like IMP over there, because many students, they get confused. Loan to directors, because we have given loan, it is our asset, short-term loans and advances.
yes.
Advertisement.
Other expense.
Very good. Other expenses. Bad debts.
Other expense.
Very good. Commission.
Other expense.
Other expense. Material consumed.
Cost of materials consumed
Very good. Cost of material consumed
in P&L.
in P&L. Now tell me, plant and machinery is at cost or it at WDV?
It is at cost because of depreciation provision is given.
Depreciation provision is given on the credit side. So this
Hmm.
plant and machinery is at cost. Very good. Yes, beta. Your concepts are 100% clear. I can see your concept now. Your concepts are 100% clear, Piyush. कहाँ से हो आप?
सर गुजरात से
गुजरात से. और फाउंडेशन और डायरेक्ट एंट्री?
फाउंडेशन.
वेरी गुड. फाउंडेशन किधर, बीओएस से किया था?
नो सर, इट वाज प्राइवेट कोचिंग नियर बड़ौदा.
ओके, ठीक है. अभी आपके बेसिक स्ट्रांग है, बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे.
थैंक यू सर.
रेंटल्स.
अदर एक्सपेंस.
अदर एक्सपेंसेस. करंट अकाउंट.
कैश एंड कैश इक्विवेलेंट्स.
यस, वेरी गुड. करंट अकाउंट मीन्स बैंक अकाउंट है ये. सो स्टूडेंट्स, इट विल बी अंडर कैश एंड कैश इक्विवेलेंट. कैश.
सेम सेम सेम.
सेम. इंटरेस्ट ऑन बैंक लोन.
फाइनेंशियल कॉस्ट.
फाइनेंस कॉस्ट. फाइनेंस कॉस्ट. प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंस.
अदर एक्सपेंस मे बी.
ओके, मे बी नहीं, इट्स करेक्ट बेटा. Maybe means IMP.
ओके सर.
Fixture. Are you writing IMP over there?
यस आई एम.
लिख रहे हो ना आप? लिखो बाजू में. आपके सामने आंसर्स भी है क्या?
सर आपने ब्रेक टाइम में बोला था तो मैं राइट कर लिया था सब.
ओके. Fixtures.
पीपी.
Very good. Wages.
Employee benefit expenses.
Very good. Employee benefit expenses.
Hmm.
Consumables.
Other expense.
Other expense. Correct. आप में थोड़ी सी हिचकिचाहट दिखी. IMP. Consumables. See, students, this is how you have to revise all these things. Whenever you are solving any question and you stuck to any point, you just write over there IMP point. So next time you don't have to solve each and every part. You just focus on these important points. Okay, at least 2 to 3 times revision you have to do. But when you are मनीष जी ध्यान रखिए. ओके, ठीक है. Freehold land.
PP.
PP. Tools and equipments.
PPE.
हाँ जी. Goodwill.
Intangible assets.
Very good. Intangible assets. Trade receivable.
Current assets में एक separate head होता है.
Current assets में separate head. Current asset. Dealer's aids.
Other expenses.
Dealer aids means we are taking some help and this is our expenses. Okay. So it's like a commission or might be something. Okay.
Hmm.
So other expense. Transit insurance.
Other expense.
Other expense. Distribution expenses be
Other expense.
other expense. And debenture interest.
Finance cost.
Very good. So debenture interest will be under finance cost. Share capital.
Shareholders funds.
Very good. Shareholders fund. 11% debentures.
Long-term borrowings under non-current liabilities.
Very good. Long-term borrowings. Bank loan.
Same sir, long-term borrowings.
Long-term borrowings. Very good. Trade payable.
Current liabilities.
Current liability. Separate head. Sales.
Revenue from operations
Very
in
good.
P&L.
In P&L, revenue from operations.
Hmm.
Rent received.
It will be other revenue.
Other income. Yes.
Oh, sorry, sir.
And transfer fees.
Other revenue, same.
Other income.
Uh,
Profit and loss account. Now, what is this 1,39,000? What is the meaning of this profit and loss account? 1,39,000.
It is
It
the
is-
balance of profit and loss account. We will show it in reserves and surplus.
So this is closing balance or opening balance?
This might be opening balance
Why might be?
because I am not sure.
This is beta opening balance. IMP. Why opening balance? Yes, anyone? Puneet?
Sir, nominal accounts are given in trial balance.
Very good. Nominal accounts are in trial balance. Therefore, opening balance. तो अभी तक nominal accounts आपके close ही नहीं हुए ना?
Yes.
समझा पीयूष जी?
Yes, sir.
Nominal accounts यदि close होते थे, if there are no nominal accounts, so P&L is already closed. Therefore, no nominal accounts. In that case, it will be closing balance. So first check whether nominal accounts are appearing in the trial balance or not. If it is not appearing, then check P&L, only P&L is given or net profit is given. Okay. Only P&L is given, then that will be a closing balance. P&L is also given and net profit is given, though that P&L will be opening balance. So लिखने का तरीका कैसे होगा? P&L and then net profit. So P&L will be then opening balance. Got the concept? And net
Yes,
profit
sir.
matlab current year profit. If nominal accounts are not given and only P&L is given, but not net profit separately, then it will be closing balance. So you just have to read your balance sheet properly. Trial balance properly, not balance sheet. Trial balance का reading करते आना चाहिए. So you just have to check that. So P&L, net profit and P&L. Easy?
Yes, sir. Easy.
Okay. Next one.
depreciation provision machinery, we will deduct it from the plant and machinery.
Yes, very good. Reduce from the plant and machinery. And very, very important now in this question. So this question won't be asked in the exam because this is very simple question. Just prepare your trial balance. This is only for your understanding purpose. Normally closing stock का adjustment कहाँ पे दिया जाएगा? Effect 1, you can write over there. Effect 1 and effect 2. Effect 2 balance sheet asset side. And what about effect 1?
Changes in
Yes, very good. Changes in inventory. Changes in inventory. Now see friend, your opening inventory is 6,80,000.
Yes.
And your closing inventory is 8,23,000. So how much you are going to write it in the changes in inventory?
143,000 in negative.
1,43,000. But credit balance is more, so you will write it in the negative figure. Check 143. You're getting it in the negative figure. Clear हुआ पूरा picture?
Yes, sir.
So negative figure में आपको 143 दिखेगा. And now no need to write opening stock because you will write it in the changes in inventory. Trial balance only one effect. Balance adjustment has two effects. So whenever I'm doing adjustment, whenever I'm updating my trial balance, you can check. I have already given two effects. Correct? Zoom पे आने वाले बच्चे स्मार्ट लग रहे हैं मुझे एकदम मस्त आंसर्स दे रहे हैं. They do not have any fear. चलो एक क्वेश्चन में और करवाता हूं. इलू 5 ये फेवरेट क्वेश्चन है. This is examiner का favorite question. Come to illustration number 5. I am giving you 5 minutes. How many of you already completed this question? Just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. How many of you have already completed? Puneet hai? Any other student? No. निधि ने किया हुआ है. So निधि और पुनीत दोनों बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ रहे हैं. अच्छा ठीक है. Other students, yes, take your time. I'm giving you exactly 5 minutes. So only you have to write over there where to record it. Okay. Where to record it. It's very simple. सिर्फ साइड में लिखो फटाफट. पीयूष 5 मिनट दूं ना बेटा
हाँ सर.
लिखने के लिए और अपडेट योर ट्रायल बैलेंस फटाफट. फटाफट लिखो. Everyone who are watching on YouTube. Yes. Three minutes you have. 3 minutes. And those who want to answer, please raise your hand. Only Puneet? Other students? Yes. पूजा से बैकग्राउंड नॉइज ना हो इतना केयर लीजिए. यस पूजा जी, अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ. पूजा
सर
प्लीज जल्दी. हाँ,
सर इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल है सर, शेयर कैपिटल में आएगा.
आवाज क्यों है इतना बैकग्राउंड में? आराम से बोलिए. हाँ जी, इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल.
सर के शेयर कैपिटल में आएगा.
क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? शेयर होल्डर्स फंड शेयर कैपिटल.
यस सर.
नेक्स्ट, कॉल सिनेरियोस.
सर भी शेयर कैपिटल में ही आएगा. That's it.
नहीं, आवाज नहीं है. प्लीज अनम्यूट म्यूट कर दीजिए. शायन तो.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग बेटा. कोलकाता से क्या?
Yes, sir. I'm from Kolkata, sir.
ओके, चलो आंसर इट. कॉल
Yes, sir.
सिनेरियोस.
Sir, calls in arrears will be less from the equity share capital.
Very good.
10 lakh.
So call scenarios, please make sure that you must be aware about this provision. Call scenarios is always deducted from share capital. So write down over there, IMP deduction from share capital. Okay. Land.
Sir, property, plant and equipment, PPE.
All these four items.
Yes, sir. Land,
Now, can you
building.
tell me this is before depreciation or after depreciation and why?
Sir, this amount is before the land 2 lakh, we have 50. Yes, sir, it's before depreciation, sir.
How?
Sir, because the depreciation provision, sir, is mentioned somewhere below, sir. Just 1 minute, please. So depreciation provision is mentioned below. It's before, sir.
No, beta. So write down IMP. These assets values. Yes, Puneet ji.
Yes, sir.
This is before depreciation or after depreciation?
Sir, after depreciation, provision नहीं दिया हुआ है.
At cost nahi hai. These are at
WDV.
WDV. Because depreciation is already deducted. As sir, how you understood this depreciation? See, in this trial balance, there is no nominal account. Correct, beta? Shayanto?
Yes, sir.
So, Shayanto ya Sayanto? Shayanto.
Yes, sir. And as you feel, sir. As you feel.
So, no nominal account. Therefore, no nominal account. Therefore, closing balance. For profit and loss account. This is IMP. And Shanto, as these figures
sir.
are after, so P&L is already closed, means depreciation is already provided,
Yes,
but
sir.
you are not recording provision for depreciation in the trial balance. And therefore, this reason is very simple, as no provision for depreciation is in trial balance. So you have to read trial balance very carefully. So whether provision for depreciation is appearing in the trial balance? No.
No,
So these figures are after depreciation. So at WDV. Correct? And now
Yes,
what
sir.
is our duty? Convert it into cost.
form, sir.
Okay, so convert into cost. How you are, yes, cost is given. Cost is given in the notes, no?
4 lakh.
So
Yes,
this
sir.
is their original cost. And what you have in the trial balance?
3 lakh 50, sir. So
And
balancing
therefore,
figure
what
of
is,
50,000.
so balancing figure, what it called as?
Depreciation,
Provision
sir.
for
Then
depreciation, no
for
depreciation. Provision. Till today depreciation. WDV
Yes, sir.
means in real life it is called as net block. What we call it as?
Net
Net
block.
block. And original cost we call it as
Gross block.
gross block. So gross block and net block difference will be called as provision for depreciation, that is accumulated depreciation. So this is how you are going to present the answer. So you will show it at WDV or you will show it at original cost.
I need to show it, sir, at original cost.
And then you will present it in the format gross block, accumulated depreciation and net
Mhm.
block.
Net.
Got the
Yes, sir.
concept?
Yes.
Very simple. Chalo. Next. Next one, general reserve.
So general reserve under shareholders fund, reserve and surplus.
Very good. Loan from state financial corporation.
It's a loan from state financial corporation under long-term borrowings.
Very good. Inventory. This is opening or
Yes.
closing?
Inventory 2 lakh. So this is opening inventory, sir.
Again IMP. See beta whether P&L is open or closed.
So sorry, sir,
P&L is already closed, no?
yes, sir.
We have
P&L is already
closing
closed.
P&L as nominal accounts are not appearing. So
Yes.
P&L is already closed means this inventory is of P&L or of balance sheet.
So this is of P&L, sir, which is already closed, sir.
Why P&L? This is a second effect of
Mhm.
closing balance sheet asset side. Because first effect already
Yes.
given in the P&L. P&L is already closed.
Closed, second effect, yes, sir.
IMP. So this is a second effect of closing balance sheet asset side. See students, you have to read your trial balance very carefully because P&L is already closed. And when P&L is already closed, it means try to understand this concept. Your P&L balance is a closing balance here. Sorry, P&L balance is closing because nominal accounts are not appearing in the trial balance. See, this is how we will check your concepts. And here students are doing blunders. They are not able to read the trial balance.
Please.
Okay.
Bit of confusion was there, sir. Now it's clear.
Okay. Now doubts are clear?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Next one. I think आशा मैम का माइक ओपन है. मनीष जी. हाँ. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं.
No, Sanket, my mic is not on.
Yes. So inventory, second effect of closing balance sheet asset side because P&L is already closed. Everyone is clear with the concept. See students, in first trial balance, in first question trial balance or second question trial balance, there is inventory but which has a debit balance opening stock. Why? Because closing stock is there in the adjustment. Here there is no closing stock is in the adjustment. Why? Because P&L is already closed. We already have given these effects of profit and loss account, second effect of closing stock. That is the first effect. Sorry, first effect we already written in the changes in inventory, and then we prepare this profit and loss account. And students are here, they get confused due to these adjustments. But if you read it carefully and if you are able to understand profit and loss account properly, it won't be a problem for you. So finished goods and raw material, this inventory has a second effect. Okay, very clear concept. Yes, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. So IMP लिख दिया बेटा आपने?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Provision for taxation.
So short-term provisions.
Yes, short-term provisions. Very good. So short-term provisions on the current liability side.
Current
Trade
liabilities.
receivable. Yes. Trade receivable
So
separate head.
current assets separated, trade receivables.
Advances.
Yes. Sorry, sir.
Advances.
Advances.
If
So
nothing is mentioned,
advances,
short-term loans and advances. If you are
short-term
getting
loans.
confused, you can write over there IMP. Short-term loans and advances. Dividend payable.
Yes. So dividend payable, other current liabilities.
Very good, beta. Other current liability. Profit and loss account.
So P&L accounts as reserve and surplus, under surplus, sir.
Under surplus,
Shareholders
there is
fund.
only reserve surplus. There is
Yes,
no. Cash at bank, cash and cash equivalent. Cash at bank also in hand also. Cash and cash equivalent. Loan,
Cash and
unsecured.
unsecured loans are long-term borrowings.
Very good. And trade payable.
So that will be a separate head, sir. Trade payables under current liabilities.
Very good. Other sorry, current liability we have a separated for trade payable. Now one by one. Now see why this question is given, because we have to write breakup of all these items. Okay. And very important. So in notes, you have to write all these breakups. 2000 equity shares were issued for consideration other than cash. Whenever you are issuing shares, normally you receive from applicant money. But sometimes you issue shares, but you get some, property or asset, or even you are giving shares free of cost, which is called as bonus shares. So you are not getting every time when you are issuing share, you are not getting every time bank balance. Your bank balance is not increasing. And schedule 3 ask you to write this explanation. 2000 equity shares were issued for consideration other than cash. You will write it in notes under share capital. So in share capital, you will give this note. Out of above, 2000 shares have issued for consideration other than cash. And this will carry 1 mark. If you don't write it in notes, you won't get that 1 mark. So we expect from you to write this sentence in exam. Out of above, 2000 shares have issued for consideration other than cash. Very simple sentence. Out of above. Out of above means out of this 10,000 shares have been issued. 2000 shares have been issued for consideration other than cash. Understood, beta?
Yes, sir.
1 mark. Trade receivable 52,000 are due for more than 6 months. So debtors, we will bifurcate in 2 parts. More than 6 months and others. So more than 6 months, how much? 52,000. So others will be 1,48,000. This bifurcation will give you 1 mark or half mark. 52,000 and 1,48,000. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Auditor tick. Next. After that, cost of the asset. So how you are going to present it? Gross block. Gross block.
Less depreciation.
Otherwise, in format, also the correct format. Gross block, accumulated depreciation, and net block. Instead of vertical format, you can write like this. Gross block, or here your asset. So land, what is a gross block? 2 lakhs. On land, we do not have depreciation. So 2 lakhs. Then you have plant and machinery, 4 lakhs. Depreciation, 50. And 3,50,000 will be your net block. Got the concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And last one is the furniture and fittings. Gross block is given in the question, 62,500. 50,000 is your net block and balancing figure is your accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation you will calculate. ये आपको calculate करना है. It is a balancing figure. Difference between gross block and net block. Easy?
Yes.
So this will carry 1 mark. The balance of 1,50,000 in the loan account with SFC, State Finance Corporation, is inclusive of 7,500 for interest accrued but not due. So now 1,50,000, we won't show it in long-term borrowings. Remember, because it includes interest accrued but not due. And where to record this? 7,500, you will record it in other current liability. Where you will record other current liability, and 142,500 you will record in the long-term borrowings. Now you are clear with the concept. So long-term borrowing में कितना आएगा? In long-term borrowing you will write beta only 142,500. And where you will write 7,500? Other current liabilities. So you need a bifurcation. So are you going to put full amount 1,50,000 under the long-term borrowings, or you will bifurcate it?
So we'll bifurcate it.
Very good, beta. Very good. ये भी हो गया. Next one. Now, balance at bank includes, and the loan is secured by hypothecation of plant and machinery. Now, what is the difference between hypothecation, pledge, and mortgage? See, mortgage is normally on immovable properties. Normally. So, on land and building, we call it as a mortgage. So, ये बैंक का एक document होता है. So, bank normally, बेटा हम लोग जब we are taking loan, so their advocate, bank's advocate, they normally gives us document to sign, and bank will take care to have a mortgage deed. Hypothecation and pledge, the difference is very simple. Hypothecation में normally it is on stock, inventory. Normally. And without bank permission. No, otherwise you have to always, while writing your stock statement, you have to tell bank that this inventory belongs to bank. Suppose if you are taken a CC, so bank has a security on your stock. And pledge is more stringent, where bank will always, you have to take permission of bank while selling goods. Okay, so stock permission, whenever you want to sell, you have to take a permission. So here the loan is hypothecation. There is a hypothecation against your asset. So in simple language, हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं इसको, गिरवी रखना. So your reader, he must be aware about your plant and machinery is not of company. It is hypothecated. It is given to bank as a security. So this note will carry 1 mark. So how you are going to present it? In plant and machinery, long-term borrowing, we will write the only note. This will carry 1 mark, secured by hypothecation of plant and machinery. Just writing this one note will give you half mark. Okay, so we expect from you that you are going to write this note, secured by hypothecation. So long-term loan, you have to just write it is secured by hypothecation. Got the concept?
Yes.
Your bank balance, rupees 2000. Your bank balance rupees 2000 with Perfect Bank Limited, which is not a scheduled bank. Now see your bank balance. What is your bank balance? 2,47,000. So 2000 and 2,45,000. So only you have to write the note. Scheduled banks are normally who follows RBI guidelines. So their rules are stringent. And other banks are normally, they are, means RBI always gives guidelines, but these are some banks, there are no stringent guidelines. So with scheduled bank and with others. So shareholder or reader, he must be aware that your bank balance is with scheduled bank. So that is on the safer side. With other banks having risk. So you must bifurcate this. So every transaction when you record, it has a material effect. What is material effect? Material means he gets influenced. Okay. So if you don't write this, so he is in this situation, हाँ मेरा बैंक में पैसा है, पर यह लिखा आपने scheduled bank and other bank. So might be, अरे मेरा पैसा safe नहीं है, ऐसे बैंक में उन्होंने रखा हुआ है. Now in Pune we have a rupee cooperative bank. So that is risky bank because दादा मामा ऐसे बैंक होते हैं अपने की वहां के लोकल लोगों. So थोड़े risky होते हैं. So you should write this. So bifurcation. And last one. The company had a contract for the erection of machinery at 1,50,000, which is still incomplete. So if we have a contract and if we do not fulfill that contract, so we have to pay some penalty. And these are big contracts. Now 1,50,000, see, don't see the amount, but in real life, these contracts, if you break this contract, you have to pay heavy penalty. Therefore, you should present if we have not completed this contract till now to aware the shareholder that you are, there might be a contingent liability in future. There might be, if this contract is not fulfilled. Therefore, we write this at the end in the notes to accounts. Where we write this? In the notes to accounts. See the sentence. Estimated amount of contract remaining to be executed on capital and not provided for 1,50,000. It has been assumed the company had given this contract for purchase of machinery. So these are called as capital commitments. What we call it as? Capital commitments. And we write it in the notes. So students, we want from you that every student must be aware about all these adjustments or all these notes. And this question is normally, why we consider this question? Only we want from you your thorough knowledge about notes to accounts. So Sayanto, can you tell me one more time कौन से notes आप लोग दोगे? 2000 equity shares were issued for consideration other than cash. You will write in which note?
Sir, under share capital
Share
should
capital. Very good. फिर second note.
high
Trade receivable.
Yes, sir. Trade receivables, sir, we will put it under a separate column. Trade receivables, sir. The debts outstanding more than 6 months and other debts.
Very good. Cost of asset. How are you going to present it?
Yes, sir. So the cost of asset over here we have, sir, land which does not will not have any depreciation, but building, plant and machinery, we will put
So
it in
you will
gross
present
block,
it in gross block, accumulated
block
depreciation,
minus
and net block. Okay.
net block. Yes, sir.
Then what about 1,50,000? Are you going to put 1,50,000 under long-term borrowing, or you will bifurcate it?
So we will bifurcate it. Long-term borrowings, we will put 1,42,500, and the 7,500 we will put it as other current liabilities, interest accrued but not due on loans.
Next. The loan is secured by hypothecation.
Yes, sir. So we will definitely mention this secured by hypothecation under the long-term borrowings, where we are putting that 1,42,500.
Okay. Balance at bank, 2,000.
Yes, sir. So this will be showed under a cash and bank balances. With like we'll bifurcate it into scheduled banks and other banks, 2,47,000 minus 2,45,000 and the 2,000 as perfect bank.
Okay. Very good. And the company had contract for erection of machinery.
Yes, sir. So we will show this at the end of the notes to account as a separate note, where we will not provide for this 1,50,000
Very
in a
good.
note, sir.
Last 5 minutes are there. Now I will take your queries. Hanji. So if you have any query, yeah, what you understood properly, you can tell me. So जो आपको नहीं समझा था, जैसे कि अभी क्या है, all questions I cannot take it now because we have only 2 hours. तो जितने भी हो सकते हैं, I have taken important questions from exam point of view. Make sure that you will solve other questions and go through the other questions also, please. और कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ आपको लिखते जाना है. Yes. So पुनीत, आज क्या नया समझा बेटा आपको?
सर ये तो सारे पॉइंट्स आपने कवर किए थे जब यूट्यूब पे पढ़ाया था.
ओके. तो शांभवी, आपको क्या नया समझा बेटा? यस, थोड़ा बोलिए तो समझ में आएगा. शांभवी जी, सुन रहे हो आप? अनम्यूट कीजिए और फटाफट बोलिए.
हाँ सर, बोलिए
क्या-
सर. मैं थोड़ा बाहर हूँ सर, इसलिए
ओके, ठीक है, पर ठीक है. सुमित जी, समझ में आया पूरा? चलिए, ओके. ये जो भी स्टूडेंट्स है, यस, इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट प्लीज आस्क मी फटाफट, अदरवाइज वी विल वाइंड अप दिस. हाँ जी.
सर मुझे ना इसमें ये पूछना था कि जैसे कभी कभी सवाल में रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस में से प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंस जो है वो लेस होता है, तो वो किस कंडीशन में होता है?
कैसे होता है? अभी प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस सपोज आपने उसी साल में राइट ऑफ कर दिया, तो अदर एक्सपेंसेस में बताओ, या प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस देखो P&L में से आप भूल गए थे. प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस जो प्रायर पीरियड आइटम है, तो हम लोगों को P&L में नहीं डालते हुए वो फिर हम लोग P&L में से माइनस कर देंगे. तो आप एक काम कीजिए, एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अदर एक्सपेंसेस में डाल देना. यू विल गेट द
अगर सिर्फ बैलेंस शीट पूछी हो तो उसे डिडक्ट करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे?
नहीं, फिर बैलेंस शीट क्लोजिंग बैलेंस दिया होगा तो फिर तो ऑप्शन ही नहीं है ना. क्लोजिंग बैलेंस ही दिया होगा P&L अकाउंट का, मतलब नॉमिनल अकाउंट्स प्रेजेंट ही नहीं है आपके ट्रायल बैलेंस में, तो फिर आप प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस कहाँ से माइनस करोगे? फिर तो आपको P&L में से माइनस करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आपने P&L बनाया नहीं है. समझा?
तो इसका मतलब हम ये मानेंगे कि वो P&L में से लेस पहले हुआ नहीं है.
P&L में
सर
वापस
जैसे कि
अभी जो
मेरे
हमने सुनो ना, अभी हमने जो क्वेश्चन किया उसमें नॉमिनल अकाउंट्स थे क्या नहीं थे? अभी जो हमने क्वेश्चन किया उसमें जो नॉमिनल अकाउंट्स ट्रायल बैलेंस में थे क्या नहीं थे? ये कोई भी आंसर दे देगा शायद, तो उसको
यस
पता
यस सर नहीं थी।
नॉमिनल
No
अकाउंट्स थे।
nominal account. No, sir, there was not.
पूजा जी एक बात बोलूं क्या आपको, मतलब थोड़ा सा ध्यान दीजिए। जब भी मैं क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करता हूँ आप थोड़ी सी रट्टाबाजी कम कीजिए कि ये ऐसे ही आया तो क्या, ऐसे ही आया तो क्या। आप थोड़ा सा मैकेनिकली मत पढ़िए। मैं आपको एक सिर्फ मुझे जो आपके आंसर से ध्यान में आ रहा है, अभी मैंने पूरा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करवाया, मैंने 2 बार वहां पे लिख के भी दिया कि नो नॉमिनल अकाउंट्स। तो आपका ध्यान रहना चाहिए कि सर कितना अच्छे से, क्योंकि क्या हो रहा है कि आप आंसर को देखते रटते जा रहे हो, तो आपका लॉजिक कभी डेवलप ही नहीं होगा वो इसमें। आया समझ में? तो आप क्या कर रहे हो, ऊपर से फिगर नीचे मैच करोगे तो कैसे लॉजिक आपका मैच होगा? अभी मैंने 2 बार क्या बताया बेटा कि यहाँ पे एक भी नॉमिनल अकाउंट था क्या? परचेज, सेल्स, एडवर्टाइजमेंट एक्सपेंस, ऐसे कुछ खर्चे थे क्या ये ट्रायल बैलेंस में? अरे हमने अब भी सॉल्व किया है पूजा।
यस सर यस।
तो ये ट्रायल बैलेंस में थे क्या कुछ एक्सपेंसेस के अकाउंट्स?
नो सर नहीं थी।
नहीं थे, तो इसका मतलब जो पी एंड एल था वो ऑलरेडी उसमें सभी आइटम्स ट्रांसफर हो चुके थे। अभी दिख इधर नहीं दिख रहे तो पी एंड एल बन चुका है ना।
यस सर।
अभी पी एंड एल बन चुका है, तो अभी प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस लिखने के लिए मुझे जगह है क्या कि ऑलरेडी बना दिया है? तो अभी पी एंड एल ऑलरेडी बन चुका है तो मैं उसको रीओपन कर सकता हूँ क्या? मतलब मैं वापस से अलग से पी एंड एल बनाऊं क्या एग्जाम में?
सर मैं समझ गई।
क्या समझ गई? कंक्लूजन बताइए।
सर इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर पी एंड एल के अंदर से लेस हो चुका है तो यहाँ पे दिखाई नहीं देगा मतलब ट्रायल बैलेंस में।
नहीं 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 नहीं, अभी फिर भी ट्रायल बैलेंस में प्रीलिमिनरी एक्सपेंसेस आपको दिख रहा है, तो आप पूरा पी एंड एल बनाते बैठोगे या डायरेक्टली रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस में से माइनस करोगे?
यस सर डायरेक्टली लेस
तो
कर।
वही मैं कब से बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। पूजा जी आप थोड़ा सा है ना ये ध्यान दे के पढ़िए क्वेश्चन को। मैं गुस्सा होके नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मैं आपको सिर्फ एक ये नसीहत दे रहा हूँ कि आप अच्छे से इसको याद कीजिए। क्योंकि क्या हो रहा है कि आपको है ना ट्रायल बैलेंस का प्रॉपर रीडिंग नहीं हो पा रहा है, और 50% स्टूडेंट नहीं 80% स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट दिस ट्रायल बैलेंस का रीडिंग। ये प्रॉब्लम है। और फिर आप क्या करते हो, आप ऊपर से नीचे फिगर को मैच करते हो बस, पर कोई उसमें ये ध्यान देता ही नहीं है कि भाई ये ओपनिंग बैलेंस है या क्लोजिंग बैलेंस है। अभी क्लोजिंग बैलेंस दिया होगा तो पी एंड एल बना दिया है, अभी पी एंड एल बन चुका है तो उसमें से आपको अभी माइनस रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस में से प्रिलिमिनरी एक्सपेंस माइनस करना पड़ेगा ना। निधि का भी सेम क्वेश्चन था, पर निधि नाउ यू गॉट द आंसर। ये क्वेश्चन निधि का भी था कि सर प्रीमियम एक्सपेंसेस हम लोगों ने उधर दिखाना है कि इधर दिखाना है। अभी इधर आपका ट्रायल बैलेंस बन चुका है, तो इसका मतलब ट्रायल बैलेंस में नॉमिनल अकाउंट्स दिख ही नहीं रहे, तो पी एंड एल आपका क्लोजिंग बैलेंस है। क्लोजिंग बैलेंस है तो आप लोग रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस में से पी एंड प्रीमियम एक्सपेंसेस माइनस करोगे अभी। और यदि आपके नॉमिनल अकाउंट्स प्रेजेंट है तो आप लोग पी एंड एल के डेबिट में डाल दोगे, मतलब अदर एक्सपेंस में। बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी दिया है मैंने। आई ट्राइड माई बेस्ट कि मैं आपको पूरा कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी दूं। यस। और आप लोग उसी तरीके से पढ़ो अभी, मतलब अच्छे से। पीयूष, देने की जो कोशिश की थी समझ में आ गया आपको बेटा?
यस सर।
बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर हुए आपके छोटे छोटे?
सर स्पेशली द आपने जो बताया कि ट्रायल बैलेंस पे वो क्या रीडिंग करना, वो मेरे को बहुत हेल्प कर रहा है, तो थैंक यू सर।
वेरी गुड। नाउ टुडे व्हाट इज योर होमवर्क टारगेट? प्लीज फिनिश योर कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट। नेक्स्ट टाइम पे कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट का आप कोई भी लेक्चर, मेरा भी यूट्यूब से उठा के देख लो, किधर जाएगा वो नहीं हुआ, तो पिछले बैच में जो किया था वो देख लीजिए, तो नेक्स्ट टाइम के सेशन में हम लोग कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट को अच्छे से समझ लेंगे। ओके, एंड इफ यू वांट कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी इन नेक्स्ट सेशन तो स्टार्टिंग में मुझे बता देना, एंड आई एक्सपेक्ट मोर अटेंडेंस, बिकॉज मैं पिछले 8-10 सेशन में नहीं था, तो अटेंडेंस आई वांट 100%। सो यूट्यूब स्टूडेंट्स, मेक श्योर कि दैट यू विल अटेंड नेक्स्ट सेशन ऑन 15 in the morning on Saturday को है, in the morning in live session. So I will meet you in the morning at 7 o'clock on Saturday. Till that you can finish your cash flow questions. तो अच्छे से पढ़ लेना, कैश फ्लो को हम लोग वापस से देख लेंगे। तो चलिए, टेक केयर, बाय बाय, और वी विल मीट ऑन सैटरडे। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir.
यस।